If I would just start from my left, I will just give this opportunity to Mr. Omar to introduce himself before we go straight into the discussion. Omar, please.
Good evening. I'm called Abdul Salam Omar from County Government of Mombasa, Department of Climate Change. I'm very privileged to get this opportunity to be in this panelist. I hope we shall cooperate until the end of this exercise.
Dr. Mwenga, please.
Hamjambo. Omwenga. I work with the NEMA in a department called Environmental Planning and Research Coordination. I also deal with climate change matters.
Thank you, Dr. Mwenga. John, kindly, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, good evening. My name is John Wafula. I work at NEMA in a section that deals with climate finance, specifically dealing with adaptation fund program and programs to do with Green Climate Fund. And I look forward to listening to your innovations and how they can help us to address the climate emergency. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Next, we have Abdul Tapman. Abdul, if you can hear us, please kindly introduce yourself. We are aware that climate change affects all sectors of the economy. It affects everything that we do. And we are also holding this discussion in a season where we are also having a lot of discussion issues. Remember, we have just celebrated the what we call the United Nations Environment Assembly, and also we have just celebrated UNEP at 50 just in about 3 weeks ago. And one of the issues that we were looking at are some of the issues that are affecting us, the issues of pollution. We are looking at the issues of climate change. We are looking at the issues of nature and biodiversity loss. We are looking at the issue of the circular economy. And the whole General Assembly of 193 states were discussing and looking at actually about 17 resolutions. And one of the great achievements in that whole assembly is the whole issue of coming up with a global instrument to address issues of plastic pollution. And we are here today at the coast where we have the issues of plastic pollution. We have cases of our turtles being affected by plastics, fish ingesting plastics. And we are seeing a lot of research of seeing that the plastics are now getting into our food chain. The other issue brings us home is the issue of climate change. And that's why these people are here. We have the Paris Agreement, the Kyoto Protocol, and all these big names that are discussed globally. They are affecting us. But today, we would like to bring all these issues home. These global instruments that have been agreed at the global level, how are we as government implementing them? How are they affecting us? What are we doing about them? And more so, as young people, what can we do? Can we be part of that conversation? And to be able to just unpack that for us, we have first Dr. Omwenga. Maybe briefly, can you tell us what kind of global instruments do we have? And as a country, what have we done about them? And more so, what opportunities do these young people in this room have in taking part in that conversation, in taking part in implementing those global agreements?
Thank you, Dr. Catherine. I start by asking whether you've heard about climate change. I hope everyone in the room has heard that the climate is changing. It is changing, and in most cases when we talk about climate, the way it manifests itself, how we can be able to tell that the climate is changing is through the increased temperatures. The increased temperatures, now, these are not stories. We have a body of the United Nations called the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Now, in that convention, we have scientists, and I insist that we have scientists, researchers drawn from all over the world, highly learned. And these people, that body within IPCC, that is an intergovernmental panel on climate change. Those are scientists now. Now, they look at the latest science, they look at the latest knowledge that exists world over about the trends of climate. They measure the temperatures using the best available technologies, best available data that is available globally. And they are able to tell us that the mean annual temperatures, they continue increasing. The temperatures are increasing, and they are telling us, those scientists, they're high learned, as I've told you, they're well equipped, they're using the best available science. They're telling us when temperatures increase, even with a with a very small fraction, a 0 point something, it has very serious implications to our lives, to our livelihoods. And so if the temperatures continue rising, then they now manifest themselves through what we are seeing here. We now see floods that we've not seen before. We are seeing prolonged droughts that we've not seen before. We are seeing many other things which are new. In fact, these scientists are also even attributing the virus that has just worked on us to climate change, but studies are ongoing. New things are coming up. And what I want to say that there is the most recent report, which they released last month, that is in the month of February, again using the latest information, latest technology, analyzed through data obtained world over. And they said that these impacts are now becoming more frequent, and they're likely to become more frequent. They're going to be very severe. But something else that they are saying is that they're coming with what we call compound extremes. That is, you find all these disasters taking place within one region. You know, one in Mombasa, you know, you can have floods around this place. Within the same country, you have extreme droughts, and then, you know, they continue recurring or following some sequence. So the thing is, the climate is changing. Now, what I want also to say is that this problem of environmental change, which is now affecting us, was recognized several years back, that is as early as 1983, when the commission, Brundtland Commission, was formed in 1983, and then they came up with the report. This report said that if we continue developing without taking care of the environment, then we are going to eliminate ourselves. Now, coming to today's function, youths here, you know, the thing is Pwani Innovation Week. Now, we've been, that report told us that, you know, we must develop, but then develop sustainably. That we look at development, which we are developing, when we talk about 4G, 5G, when we talk about the fourth IR, industrial revolution, that is, we're in the fourth generation. Okay, we are at another level of industrial revolution. Now, that is development, and we need it. We need to develop. We are asking for employment. We are talking about increased productivity.